All right, 3 semi-recent release books. We're starting with The Writing Retreat. Pick this up because A, I like books about books and authors, and B, Literally Dead Book Club's pick for the month. Absolutely adored it. 4.5 stars. I'm bumping it up to a 5 just for my love of authors and books about books. So this is pretty straightforward. It's technically a thriller, but my god is it slow paced starting off, and I don't think the mystery thriller components started until like after the halfway point. So you have a character, she has a messy relationship with her former best friend and roommate. They were basically sisters slash in love, and then they had a huge falling out, and you're unraveling their history and dynamic, and I absolutely adored it. The messier the relationships, the more codependent and is this good or bad they can be is so entertaining, and I really did enjoy their dynamic. They both want to attend this writing retreat by a famous author, their favorite, and they are both, due to some coincidence of someone else dropping out, are able to get this position to go to the writing retreat, and there they have to write an entire book in a couple months, basically. And it's very intense. I love hearing them talk about writing and the books and their passions. I love hearing about the stories that the other characters are writing their books about. And overall, I just really love it. The girl hosting the event, that author, she is over the top. She's a bitch, and it's just entertaining as hell. And then you go from this slow, like snail's pace, slow story that is just them freaking out about writing their books. And then a twist happens. Not even so much of a twist as a tonal shift that gave me whiplash. And I love it. I love it when a book goes off the rails. My only complaint would be that I wish it went even further. I wish we went a step above and made it even more crazy. And trust me, it already went pretty crazy. Like, ridiculous. Turn your brain off. These characters can't be serious. This is what they're doing. Kind of crazy. And I loved it. It was a delight. 5 stars. Absolute delight. All right. From 5 star to 1 star, I don't even know how to describe to you The Only Survivors. I can't. I can barely describe it. You have a group of people that are all the exact same character. Nothing differentiates any of them from each other. They are the same character. And I can't tell you how many are in this group. I can't tell you their names. I can't tell you how many of them are male and female. I can't tell you their ages. I can sort of tell you that they had different jobs. Like, one was a therapist, one was a lawyer. I think one was an event planner. I think there were more than that. So that's all I got. I despised this book. I despised how repetitive it was, and the plot itself was not so much of a plot as events happened to force characters into locations so they could observe or hear something, and then that's about it. The most pointless thing happens, and I hated it. So it's told from 2 timelines. You have the group of characters at a beachfront property as they're there for the anniversary of some tragic event from their high school years that they all survived together. And they're just making sure that they're all kind of well supported, as other members of the survivors had committed suicide, most likely due to the trauma and also a secret they're keeping. So they're also making sure no one talks about this said secret. What is said secret? I don't know. If it's what I think it is, because it's the obvious thing, they were trying to survive. What do you expect from this group? Anyhow, second timeline is told in reverse chronological order of the event. So the first time you're there, it's like them actually surviving and getting help. The next time we're in that timeline, it's just a little bit previously, a little bit before that, a little bit before that, and the final one will be like what caused the event, which was the stupidest thing I've ever read, and I had to turn off my brain because no one could possibly be this stupid. For this thing to happen, everyone had to have lost their mind, regardless. Repetitive. I hated this. I hated this. I hated this book. How the hell I finished it, I do not know. Now, this kind of leads me in to my next book. Let me grab it. All right, we have The Last Word, my absolute favorite thriller of all time. This is my new favorite thriller. Kicking the Kind Worth Killing off my favorites list. I cannot tell you how much I love this. I need to reread it. So how this glorious 5-star book by the sadist who is Taylor Adams that was trying to give me a stroke while I was reading it for all the whiplash he gave me, how this relates to the 1-star atrocity that I just finished previously. The plot is very simple. So a woman leaves a 1-star review for a book that she despised, and then the author reaches out and is just like, hey, take this 1-star review down, I'm not going to ask you again. And she's brushing them off like, no, your book sucked. I stand by every word of this review. And then some strange things start to happen around her very isolated home where the closest neighbor, they're playing hangman with whiteboards looking through telescopes. Like, no one can hear this woman or is anywhere near her to help. When I say I was filled with anxiety the entire book, I am not lying to you. Like, I've read one other book by this author, No Exit. I don't want to spoil anything for the other books. Like, just know your characters are in danger when this man is writing the book, just based on that one other book I read. I had no idea what was going to happen to this woman. Like, plot armor is not a thing that I felt she had. And it is absolutely fast-paced, full of twist, yet not, well, yeah, no, I will say it's believable. It is over the top, yet somehow I can see it happening. I could watch a news article about this event and be like, yeah, that seems like it would happen in our society. Cutting in, just because I do think it's important to mention that there are 2 different narrative styles in this book. The first being obviously the main character that you're following who wrote the review, but also you'll get these cutaways to like a journal, book, diary vibe entry. And I don't want to go into too much detail other than to say it's from the attacker's kind of point of view, but they don't always line up. So the same event will happen, and they're very different in the real life versus the book. And then you'll also get like some transcribes of police reports and other events. So I loved it. I loved that element so very much, but mostly I loved how easily it was to see the difference between the points of view and how they're trying to depict themselves and then what actually happened in the actual real life events. And it doesn't line up with these articles or this book. And it's a delight. It's just, I love this book so much. I absolutely adored it. I was terrified. There is a dog. There is a dog. The safety of this dog was a huge concern for me. I had no idea if this dog was going to survive, and I'm not going to tell you. So if that's something you need to know going in, you can look it up. I adored this book. I was terrified the entire time. Fast-paced, basically slasher with so many twists and turns that I'm like, I didn't know what to think or believe. I loved it. I loved it. Please read The Last Word. It is so good. Absolutely adore it. My new favorite. All right, so those are the 3 books that I have read recently. I will talk to you later.